Bevil Wooding is the Chief Knowledge Officer of Congress WBN
and the Internet Strategist with Packet Clearing House.
He has designed, developed and implemented ICT solutions for governments, private sector and non-profit organizations in the Caribbean and around the world. In April 2011, he was recognized and honored as one of 50 distinguished alumni of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus.
Hi, my name is Bevil Wooding. I'm one of the speakers at the Caribbean Open Data Conference. Of course, the theme for this conference is Developing the Caribbean. I'm involved in numerous ICT or information and communication technology initiatives around the region and throughout the world. And I'll be talking to you today about open data. Open data is a term normally used to describe the notion or the philosophy that certain data sets should always be freely available to everyone to use, to republish as they wish or as they see fit. Such access to data should be without copyright, without patents or any other mechanism that would prevent full end-user determination of how that material would be utilized. The underlying philosophy of open data is not new. The goals of the open data movement are in fact similar to those of the open source movement or the open access movement, whereby content is made available to groups without restriction. The term open data itself has gained prominence following several high-profile government initiatives, or what are called open government data initiatives. And these have really brought the benefits of open data into the public glare. And these benefits involve standards being applied to how data is published and put out to the public. They involve the use of or the building of applications that take advantage of these open data sets. And of course, the real benefit of transparency and accountability, which has been a stated goal of governments, but also of civil society groups who are trying to get greater, or who are trying to encourage greater transparency in governance. Open data sets facilitate this by putting the responsibility on making data sets available on the governments or on the institutions that hold the data, as opposed to on those who demand it. So if you think of the difference between, for example, what commonly obtains under the Freedom of Information Act, if somebody in the public wants to poll or inquire of a government agency, they would have to make a request. Well, it's different with open data. With open data, the data is already available for the public to scrutinize. And so you see the difference in terms of how transparency and accountability can be facilitated when data is made publicly available. Open government data is perhaps one of the most prominent or high-profile applications of open data across the world. A number of governments have seen the benefit of making government information available to the public for reuse. Now, as you know, governments hold a substantial body of information in public trust. This information ranges from census data to policing statistics to agriculture and land use information that is now locked up in government data repositories. With open data, governments recognize that by making it available to the public, they can actually take advantage of the resource availability and interest that exists in the public domain to analyze, to interpret, and to build applications on top of that data in a way that simply will not be possible given government constraints and the constraints of the public service. So across the world, governments are moving toward making more data sets available so that more citizen services can be provided. Now, not through public sector initiatives, but through private sector or even civil society initiatives. And the good thing about this movement is, of course, it is enabled by the internet. And the fact that access to the information now does not depend on geographic proximity to where that information may be originating. So the internet, together with open data initiatives, has been perhaps one of the most significant advances in how public access to public information can really be leveraged.